a vice president of Women's Federation for World Peace. So let's welcome them on board so that they can talk about the vision of their respective organizations and their personal contributions within their roles. So let's welcome them on board. Hello, Mr. David and Patricia. How are you today?
Good. Nice to see you, Hina.
Good,
thank
you.
Anytime. It's always my pleasure. It's always lovely to have you both on board because you see, you guys are so heavily involved in contributing towards global peace and in alignment with spreading global peace. Obviously, you guys are doing so many initiatives day in, day out that between the last time that I've spoken to you and now, there's so much that has gone into it already. So it would definitely be, really good for us for you guys to update us on, things that you've been doing so far. So yeah, the first question would be towards you, David. If you'd like to share with our viewers, what is the origin of Universal Peace Federation and what's the new structure like?
Well, thank you. Thank you, first of all, for giving us this possibility to speak a little bit. I hope one or two people who are watching can be inspired and empowered.
Definitely.
The origins of UPF in its current form was founded in 2005 by Reverend Dr. Sum Young Moon and his wife, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, popularly known as Father and Mother Moon. But the origins go back probably into the 1950s, when Father Moon started out in a mud hut towards the end of the Korean War, around 1952-53. And at that time, he had this vision, incredible vision for world peace. And he told the people with him that actually there would come a time when tens of thousands of people would come to Korea from all over the world for the sake of peace. And that's happened in recent years. But it started in this little mud hut with one person many, many years ago. In the 70s, our organization did a lot of ecumenical and interfaith work, and that developed in the 1980s. We established a theological seminary, where, for example, a Jewish rabbi taught Judaism, different religious people taught their own faith, and that was the springboard then for all kinds of interfaith activities. In the 80s, it became the International Religious Foundation. In the 90s, it developed another incarnation into the International and Interreligious Federation for World Peace. And it was all the time expanding, reaching all corners of the globe, more and more people. And then in 2005, UPF was officially founded in its current form by Father and Mother Moon. And most recently, we had a huge World Summit in South Korea in February, just before the pandemic. And at that meeting, then we kind of restructured into 7 associations, one for current and former heads of state, one for international first ladies, one for parliamentarians, one for religious leaders, and then one for business, media, and academic people. So working in all these different areas of society and human endeavor. And that's the way that we're moving forward at the present time. Yeah.
Excellent. That's a beautiful vision. And the fact that, humble beginnings from a mud hut and over so many years, wow, finally what would I say, a robust structure has come into existence. And the fact that people, globally are contributing to this initiative in whichever form or shape that they can. It's just so beautiful to see that. So if we elaborate a little bit more about Universal Peace Federation's activities that are being undergoing underneath the, within the platform, I'd love to hear more about that. But before we do that, I would request that, we get those, the video on the PowerPoint on for the viewers to see. As they say, the pictures speak 100 words. So let's watch the video. Wow, that was wonderful. What I could see was that, people from different ethnicities, different colors, coming under the same roof and getting involved, building relationships and getting involved in variety. So yeah, that's beautiful. If you want to elaborate, further a bit more on the individual activities that are taking place under the banner of UPF, David.
Right. Well, where should I begin? A large part of our work involves bringing people together from their diverse backgrounds and providing the opportunity, first of all, for them to get to know each other. But then, after building friendship and sometimes breaking down barriers, sitting around the table or meeting for conferences or projects, then we move into action. So one of our strong points, I think, is that we can empower people, particularly young people, into action for the benefit of others, for the benefit of society, of humanity. And in terms of young people, I've spent quite a bit of time myself. That's one of my main loves, keeping me young, hopefully, is bringing young people together for what's called the Religious Youth Service Project. That's been going since 1985. And we bring young people together from different races and cultural religious backgrounds, and they serve a local community. They meet a particular local need, and there are two things going on. They're serving the community and meeting a public purpose, but in the process, they're building bridges of friendship with each other, and they become so empowered that they feel, well, if I can do this in Birmingham, I want to do it back in my home country of, Senegal or Japan or wherever they come from. It has a very empowering, multiplying effect because of the experience they have in encountering, the other from a different race or a different background, but serving a public purpose. So these two things side by side, somehow they work together and have a very empowering effect. So that's why this project has multiplied all over the world, empowering these young people. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And how about the unique role of men and women in the sense that when they, if you can elaborate a bit more on the parental, um, uh, developing a parental heart model when it comes to making best use of the unique role of men and women in the community.
Well, one of our fundamental principles, if you like, even perhaps the first one, is that we are all one family of humanity. Uh, and that's not always the case, especially in conflict situations where we feel the other is the enemy. But ideally, we want to develop the mindset in each person that we are one family, we are brothers and sisters under one umbrella, under one creator. If we're a religious person, under Allah, God, whatever name, we are one family of humanity. So one of the main purposes in life for us is as we become a man or a woman, a father, a mother, husband, wife, then we develop a parental heart. And the parental heart is the heart that wants to take care of all the children equally, wants to make sure that everybody in the family is treated equally, is happy. And we try to multiply that same vision to humanity. That if we're, for example, a prime minister, we should really have this heart of a father or a mother for our nation, not just our political party, but we should treat everybody equally. Or if we're the CEO of a company, we should treat all the employees the same. If we're a teacher in a school class, make sure that all the kids are doing, fulfilling their ambitions to the best of their ability. This starts here in our mind, this parental heart and mind towards others. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so beautiful to hear. I mean, it's one of those things that a parent, it's very difficult for them to have, bias towards any of their children. Although there may be a slight bit of favoritism towards maybe the oldest or the youngest child there, but in the greater good of every all the children, they're thinking strategically and they're trying to spread as much equality as they can so that nobody feels, let down and everybody feels as though their greater good is being looked after. So that's beautiful. That's very, very valuable, information out there. And food for thought as well for many. And I know, David, yourself, that you lay a lot of emphasis on character education, character building of youth. Um, how are you able to fulfill that passion of yours? What kind of initiatives are you involved with?
Well, our character education springs out of the fundamental principles of peace, which underpin UPF. And I don't know if you remember the collapse of the former Soviet Union in the late 80s. The Berlin Wall came down. And just after that, there was a huge vacuum in the former Soviet Empire. And many of our representatives went into Russia, and we developed a character education curriculum there. This was the first incarnation, if you can see that. And that was developed with our representatives and members of the Russian pedagogues, some of whom were atheists, but they had tremendously good moral values. And we developed that character education curriculum, which was then spread out into maybe 10,000 schools. We trained the teachers, and they taught that curriculum. It's not prescriptive. It allows the young people to think for themselves, think through the issues of the day. And that was our first model. And then we've multiplied that into other contexts, other countries, other cultures, other situations. So, for example, there's one at the moment being trialed in the Middle East in about 1,000 schools for Palestinian young people, written in Arabic with a pedagogue over there. We can contextualize it to any kind of situation. And then you might have seen the very last slide that you saw on the little video. I was in Senegal in 2018. UPF did a summit, an African summit, for about a week. And we invited representatives of all the African governments from 55 nations. And we presented this character education curriculum to them online, free, and said, you can use this in your countries. Take it away, have a look at it, see if you'd like to use it in your country. And there was a very, very good take-up, very good response from that. So, yeah.
Excellent. So, for example, if I had to benefit from that program, that curriculum, where is it available for myself and my viewers access? Because again, we talk about values. It's got nothing to do with, any specific religion or culture. It's got to do more with humanity. So I'm sure that our viewers would definitely benefit from this information. So where can they, find this? Where is it available?
You can contact me, or you can go onto our international website, which is very simply upf.org, www.upf.org. And there you'll see all of our activities and one particular section under resources. So if you click on resources, then you'll find the character education material under resources on the UPF page on the website. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's fantastic. I'm sure I, for one, would be definitely able to benefit, because my personal work revolves around women and youth empowerment, and it also revolves around or inculcates a lot of value system in it as well. So yeah, I'm sure I will definitely benefit from it. So Patricia, how are you feeling? How are you doing? You've been quiet for a long time.
I'm all right.
Over to you now. I'm not going to let you be quiet for a long time. We've had a good detailed chat with David already. So, Patricia, over to you.
It's unusual that she stays quiet for that long, Hina.
Well, bless her, she's given you the opportunity today. Let's share the platform with her before we speak to both of you, because I know both of you are involved with advocacy work. So we can talk about that mutually later on, and you can share your, on the ground experiences. But before we do that, I'd like to give Patricia an opportunity to talk about my most favorite initiative that I am involved in as well, which is the Women's Peace meeting that she used to hold in her own house. And that was my first opportunity to interact with Patricia, face to face. And it was such a, warm feeling that I had whilst being in that house around you guys, that, I've just stayed. Every time that you've had this meeting, I've been, actively participating, and now I'm yearning and craving for that time to come where we can meet face to face again. I know that we're doing it online. I mean, on the 20th, which is tomorrow, there's going to be an online peace meeting. But just to, elaborate a little further, if I may, for my viewers' benefit, that Nazreen, मेरी पहली मुलाकात पेट्रिशिया से उनके घर पे हुई थी, जब इन्होंने साल में एक मर्तबा जो है वो हर साल विमेंस पीस मीटिंग ये अरेंज करती हैं, जिसमें हर मुल्क के जो खवातीन हैं वो वहाँ जमा होती हैं और एक सेफ स्पेस में नॉन जजमेंटल एनवायरनमेंट में एक प्लेटफॉर्म उनको दिया जाता है जहाँ पे वो अपनी बातें शेयर कर सकती हैं, अपने कंसर्न्स, अपने इश्यूज शेयर कर सकती हैं. And this is also one form of healing, I suppose, whereby you get the opportunity to open up and become vulnerable in a safe space in front of so many women from different cultures, different ethnicities, and each one of them over there can relate, can resonate with your problem, your concern, and they're happy to reach out to you and give advice to you based on their own experiences. And I know for a fact that Patricia is such a kind human being that if one of the women or anybody reaches out to her, she's more than happy to put you in contact with the relevant person or an organization, if you may. तो अगर आपको फायदा उठाना है, चूंकि मैं भी इस मुल्क के अंदर माइग्रेंट थी, तो ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज जहाँ पे मुझे एक ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट मिले कि जहाँ पे मैं खुल के अपने दिल की बात कर सकूं और इतनी सारी खवातीन जो कि मुख्तलिफ ममालिक से मौजूद होती हैं उनके तजुर्बे से फायदा ले सकूं, इसी नीयत के साथ मैं पेट्रिशिया के यहाँ गई थी. और आज दिन तक जो है वो मैं एवरी टाइम जब भी जाती हूँ उनके इस पे विमेंस पीस मीटिंग पे, हमेशा 7 मिनट की इनकी एक स्पीकिंग गिग होती है, वो जरूर मैं उस अपॉर्चुनिटी को अवेल करती हूँ. तो मैं दरख्वास्त करूंगी, अगर आपको फर्दर डिटेल्स चाहिए, पेट्रिशिया herself is going to be sharing the details of the event shortly. So please, it is my personal recommendation to all you women out there, join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So over to you, Patricia. I've spoken too much. I've my viewers. I'm sorry that you couldn't.
I don't
yeah, but it's all good.
Thank you so much.
I'm your
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this Women Peace Group began 27 years ago, long time, and that was the time when there was a conflict in Bosnia, which was really, really painful. And our Women Federation for World Peace organized a chain of prayer all over Europe to prayer from women and for women and children victims of war and violence. And I joined that chain of prayer, and after that, something happened, and I felt that things were getting better, and I felt the value of this peace meeting, and we continued. So for 27 years, so in the beginning it was very small, with just a few ladies coming together, but then with time, it grew and grew and grew. It became more interfaith, and now we can be more than 100 women coming together, 50 different nationalities. Sometimes it's amazing. That reflects really the multicultural aspect of our city, and a third Christian, a third Muslim, and a third other religion. So it's really, really interfaith. And the idea is really to share our common humanity together, as women, for peace, for human rights, for justice, and leave all our difference aside of race, culture, faith, no faith, but for peace. So that's the idea of it. And so it has been a long journey, to be honest, an amazing journey that I share with many, many women on the way. And some of them are from that time, and some other women, especially young women, are joining now. So it's very intergeneration, in fact, which I like. And a part of this is just trying to connect with what is going on in the world and inviting women where there's conflict and come to share about their life experience. And that really moves our heart, and that just inspires them to try to help. So that's one part. But also to share about common concern for society, for women, for families, for young people, for integration, for racial, for religious integration, social integration. So we are listening to a lot of testimony, and that creates awareness. And afterwards, there's always a time where we can share our heart with each other. And this is a very important time because we build friendship with each other. And I think friendship is vital. Like you say, it's a kind of healing, And because through friendship, you see through the eyes of a friend, and it helps to take away all our fear and prejudice towards another religion, another race, or another country. And this is something very much the heart of this peace work, this aspect of taking away fear, prejudice, and bring a lot of forgiveness, for one another, and and then we have a quiet time for meditation, and then we have a social time where we develop more of friendship. But it doesn't stay there. It's not enough to talk about things or to pray. We have to do things. So our Women Peace Corps will be very active and engaged in many different projects, following what we hear and all the issues that come in front of us, we have to do something. So we've been involved, work helping with refugees and also homeless people, and also domestic violence and forced marriage. We had some really, really good speakers from different organizations who came, and it really moved the women's heart. It triggered something. And like you say, bring a lot of healing. And some of the women need help, so they will be going to this organization. Also, some of the women in our group want to help. And so it's like a flow, they help, some need help, some help. And also it's channeling to different agencies, a lot for women. So this is a part of my work that is very dear to my heart, so that aspect. And but also, different, from there on, we have a very close project. It's called the Bridge of Peace, where women, the same idea, they go over a bridge, and they make a special friend from another race, another religion, or another country where there was war with each other, and through that friendship, they really try to forgive each other, to also to say sorry. And beautiful friendship came about. And this is so amazing how the transformation in our heart, when we can build this kind of relationship, because then our vision towards a religion changed completely through that friendship. It really helped a lot, to free our heart, to love each other, And I think that's a very deep aspect of peace, to stretch our heart. It begins with us. Peace begins with us. And then it goes in our family and further on. But so that aspect, I would say that's the core of our work. And all the women are all very welcome to come. It's true. It's just a safe place, isn't it? When we can share our heart together. There's no judgment, and everybody is in the same, rich or poor or anything. We are all there together, try to help each other and going on a journey together. Yeah. But
Absolutely.
I must say,
sorry, Patricia, cutting you. So just before, because we were talking about the peace meeting now, and I have already recommended it highly to my viewers. So would you like to share some details, so that the viewers, if they'd like to join us tomorrow, they can?
Yeah. Tomorrow, we will have a peace meeting about mental health and healing. In fact, Hina will be one of our speakers. We'll have speakers from different places, and we're really also very much into counseling. And we have one person who is a policewoman who has been facing with a lot of situations of mental health. Very specialized, very wonderful speaker. And then we have some responses. You are all very, very welcome. I think the idea and the purpose of that meeting is to lift each other up, really, and try to find good tools to help ourselves, also to help others. And so I hope really that it will be something very helpful for everybody. Yeah, but also the fact to come together, as women, and to feel that togetherness of heart. We have a time for meditation, where we can really.
I think if they want to contact you, you have to give your email, and then
so
they contact you.
I can give you my email. Yeah, you can contact me. Sure.
Yeah, please. Yeah. You can share it now.
Yeah, so my email address is patricia.earle@virginmedia.com.
Okay. So if you can spell your name, please.
Yeah. So Patricia is PATRICIA and then Earle EARLE. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. At virginmedia.com. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's pretty clear now. I think it'll be very, very easy now for people, women specifically, to contact you, and then you can signpost them, share the Zoom link as always, along with the poster details, so that they can join us tomorrow. So inshallah, we're looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible. And trust me when I say that I, for one, was there to, I had joined them. Basically, I'd come for the style, but I've stayed for the taste. So in a nutshell, that's what it is all about, that if you join us once, you will just be there for life. You're going to develop such strong relationships, friendships, connectivity with people, that all of this liaison is going to become a part of your healing process, and it's going to help you revive your self-esteem and self-confidence with no bounds. So, Patricia, I know that you are also involved in lots of practical activities as well, in the sense of helping young adults and young women to develop their confidence and increase their self-esteem as well. So these are the two main aim, underpinning these activities. So would you like to talk about what kind of activities are there in place, and how do they basically support young adults and women?
Yeah, we have in our Women Federation, we have a lovely project. It's called Women Speech Contest. And it's the idea is that women can stand in front of an audience and can talk about a specific project connected with women, like women making a difference in society, or to uphold the dignity of women. And so it's a very wonderful opportunity to develop their skills for speaking, but also their confidence, but also to stand up for what they believe and their values. And so I think it's also very, very good, because if the winners, so there will be different category of winners, so they have the possibility to go to speak at the parliament and to share their paper with really in a very special environment. And they can also put that on their CV. Also, they have the opportunity to join some European conference that we have once a year. And it has been a really wonderful project, because also the women make connection with each other, and they meet afterwards, and they develop other also education program for leadership. So and then it's really like a snowball effect, and it's become it's already 5 years that it has happened on the national level. But each branch have also a selection first in their own locally, and then the winner from there go on a higher level. So we just had a speech contest, we just passed a week ago. Yeah, and it was wonderful.
Okay, excellent.
But the point is, because of the COVID, they limit a lot. So only 30 people could meet in London, but they had it in the headquarters there. Yeah, and then we had it on Zoom connected with it. Yeah.
Excellent.
But,
Excellent.
That's one project. Also, there's something coming up, art painting project also on a national level for girls from different group age, like 5 to 7, 8 to 12, 13 to 16, and there will be prizes. And it's really connect with peace, the idea of peace, and how to bring peace in society today in a very challenging time. And the children can create something very beautiful. And so there will be also prizes and something very stimulating.
And if anybody's interested, they could contact you.
Yeah, if everybody's, I think I have all I can send you an email back, and I could also give you
excellent. Yeah, and the viewers know of your email address now anyway. So because you've discussed about all the events, if they're interested, they'd be, more than happy to contact you through your email address, and that should be sufficient, I suppose, in terms of your contact details. And they can also look you up on Facebook, the social media handles. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so now in terms of the advocacy work that you both do, I know that I hear the word Parliament quite many times echoing, underpinning the advocacy work that you both do. So if you would like to highlight, both of you, in your respective organizations and in your roles, what kind of support work are you doing? Is it that you're trying to provide voice to those people, by bringing them on board in the Parliament so that they get an opportunity to voice their concerns, their issues, and then you help them, in a sense that their concerns are then being addressed or brought to the attention of the parliamentarians. So correct me if I'm wrong and kindly elaborate more on that one.
Well, for UPF, then that's more or less the remit that we have, is to use our foundation in Parliament to bring, whether it's a young person or women's issues or other issues, we ask a friend of ours in Parliament from the House of Lords or House of Commons to order the room for a couple of hours. They will host the meeting, and then we'll bring the young person and other experts or people involved into that setting in Parliament and have the public discussion. And then it could be conflict minerals, for example. That's one topic. It could be the sexualization of our young people, all kinds of issues of the day, which somebody has that they'd like. I think we've had probably between 150 and 200 events in Parliament over the last 20 years. To the extent that UPF became a partner with Parliament in 2012, because of that work, we became an official partner to promote peace and democracy and working together with them.
And the fact that UPF also and Women Federation have a special NGO for the United Nations, this is something very, very interesting, is that we try also for Women Peace Group, as much as at the Parliament, to adopt the United Nations Day. You have United Day for peace, for the family, for young people, also against domestic violence, for human rights, many, many days. And so if we create an event, locally or at the Parliament or anyway, and you bring forward an issue, it's really advocacy. You bring an issue and you send that and this report afterwards. We have an office in Geneva, at the United Nations in Geneva, where the president of our Women Federation has an office there. By law, they have to look at the issue you bring forward. So many people don't know about that. And that's why to have an NGO is very useful, because you have a voice, and you can bring that voice from the bottom to the top, and it creates really awareness. Yeah.
Would you like to share any examples, Patricia? Any success stories?
Yeah, I have a really, a few years ago, my really good friend from Congo, she's the mother of Congo. She came to speak to our peace meeting about the horror of women rape in Congo. It's the worst country in the world about rape of women. And we don't hear very much about Congo, in fact. And I was absolutely so shocked. And I contacted my colleague in London, and we had an event.
Maybe I'll just explain the context of that for the viewers, that in East Congo, there's a mineral there, which is one of the key minerals in our mobile phone circuitry. And so it's a conflict mineral, and there's tremendous efforts there to destroy communities in order to control the land where that mineral is mined. And one of the tactics used was rape and violence against women to destroy communities, control the land. And this was going on for many years. And this lady knew about it, but couldn't find an outlet to speak about it.
Yeah, and then so she went to speak at the Parliament, at the UK Parliament, and one of the MP was so moved, really, because he had no idea. So he contacted some of his friends at the European Parliament, and then they set up a conference, and she spoke at the European Parliament, which was really amazing, and she was so happy to be able to have that platform. And then the consequence of that is quite a few members of the European Parliament also were very moved, and they decide to bring forward.
They were so moved, they
proposal,
said, we have to bring a motion in front of the European Parliament about this issue, which they did. And then it began to come into the public domain. Newspapers began to get involved.
Really
William Hague, at that time, his Foreign Secretary, Angelina Jolie, they went to the Congo to find out, and things started to change. But it all started from this lady, Charlotte, speaking in our Patricia's meeting in our home.
So to see all the different levels, what you can do, you know, when there's a really sincerity of the heart, you know, and somehow also with the help of God, I think, you know, these things were moving. We didn't plan that. And there's some other story like that the women had the opportunity to go to speak at the parliament, you know, to share about their story and from different parts of the world, in fact,
Okay, so that's excellent. That's really, I mean, I'm completely lost of words right now to hear this last bit from you guys, that as it is, you're contributing massively, you know, towards spreading peace, helping women, helping young adults, helping them get, you know, integrated into the community, helping them revive that sense of, you know, or restoring that sense of self-connection and self-love. And also, whilst they're on this journey, you know, of getting to know themselves better, you're also helping them, supporting them to get to know their colleagues, their peers better as well, so that they can develop good relationships, healthy bonds with them. And that then in itself is a huge, you know, what would I say, part and parcel of them not only supporting themselves as a healing process for them, but also as, what would I say, giving them a sense of ownership as well, you know. So that's beautiful. And I'm so glad that you guys have come on board again and shared such valuable information with our viewers. For those who want to reach out to David and Patricia, you can use Patricia's email address, which is patricia.earle@virginmedia.com, and you can reach out to David as well. He's already shared, you know, the website details from where you can pull down the resources available if you want to make use of them to inculcate value-based system in your young adults. So on that note, thank you so much. I'm just being a little mindful of time here. Thank you so much, David and Patricia, to join us and have shared such beautiful information with our viewers. So उम्मीद करती हूँ नाजरीन के आज जो भी हमने आपके साथ इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर की है, आप उसका भरपूर फायदा लेते हुए अपने ऊपर काम करने की कोशिश करेंगे, खुद को डेवलप करने की कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि इंग्लैंड एक वाहिद ऐसा मुल्क नहीं है, मगर it's one of those countries which is heavily involved or focused in social welfare. And one part of social welfare is also community development, जिसके लिए मैं भी कोशा हूँ, अपनी तगदो में लगी हुई हूँ. तो मेरी यही आपसे गुजारिश होगी, इल्तमास होगी कि आप भी अपनी पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट के अंदर इन्वेस्ट करें. इस किस्म के प्लेटफॉर्म्स जैसे कि डेविड और पेट्रिशिया ने इस वक्त जिनकी डिटेल्स आपके साथ शेयर की हैं, ऐसे इवेंट्स में डेफिनेटली पार्टिसिपेट करें, ताकि आपको पता लग सके कि मुख्तलिफ एथनिसिटीज में मुख्तलिफ के कल्चर्स के लोग जब इकट्ठे मिल बैठते हैं तो किस किस्म के टॉपिक्स की डिस्कशंस होती हैं, और आप किस तरह से उनके अंदर पार्टिसिपेट करके अपनी लीडरशिप स्किल्स को, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स को, सेल्फ एस्टीम को फर्दर डेवलप कर सकते हैं. तो इंशाल्लाह उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आप डेफिनेटली फायदा उठाएंगे इस इंफॉर्मेशन से. अंटिल नेक्स्ट वीक, थैंक यू सो मच. जज़ाकल्लाह खैर. अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू.